What up, fellow headbangers? How you doing? I'm Rombo Day, and welcome to the Greasiest of all time. Today we're chilling with Katapult, a thrash metal band out of Sweden and Switzerland. How you guys doing?
Pretty fine.
Doing great.
Why don't
How are
you?
you? Thanks for having us.
Good, thank you. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us how you guys started out the band?
My name is Johan. I'm the one from Sweden. I've been doing music since I was yay high. And then I got too old, and then I met Florian, who is about to present himself, and we started Katapult.
Yes, and the Florian that he spoke of, that's me. I'm living in Switzerland, and I am from Switzerland, and I've been doing music as well for a long time, about since I was 14 years old. And I met Johan on a video production, and then we met some years later in Sweden, and we said, let's do a band. And now we're here in the podcast. How cool is that?
Right? It's weird how things go. Yeah, like 2 weeks ago. I think like about a month ago, I wasn't even thinking about a podcast and just kind of hit me and I went full board with it. So it's
Nice.
weird how things change and life throws you a different curveball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in times like these, you need to be open for new ideas, I suppose.
Oh, 100%. Exactly. You guys just released your latest EP, Shut the Fuck Up and Press Play. Tell us about that
Yeah.
experience. It's a
I
wicked name, by
barely
the way.
remember it. It's been too long since we released it.
Right?
When did we release it? Was it like November?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, you go ahead.
It's funny because as you said, for the public, it's like, oh, you just released your second EP, and we're in the middle of actually finishing the recording for the album. So
Oh, nice.
For us it's old news, and
Yeah.
we did all the drums and we finished guitars 2 days ago. And yeah, I don't know, it feels weird switching back and forth between the state of what the public knows or people that listen to us and the internal thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
no,
my mind is
100%.
already going to the second album. And
You're already ready
meanwhile,
for tour.
yeah, packing bags and shit, you know.
Yeah, and no one's even heard the songs quite yet. They're like, oh, okay. No, we're the same way. I think that's the hard part is because you're so immersed in your project for so long that you get to a point where you're almost too comfortable with it that by the time you release it, you never want to hear it again. You're like, I'm done with this. Like, and then you're like, shit, well, we're just releasing it. Now we're gonna have to start performing it every night. So it changes.
I'm kind of looking forward to the point where I start to want to listen to it again.
Mm-hmm.
I remember like there's one song on that second EP that we released that's really a standout moment in my musical career. That like it's like, yeah, well, if I die now, I've made my mark as far as I'm concerned. It's the best song I've ever been part of. But right now, I just hate everything about it. So give me a year, and I want to listen to it.
That's like me with our latest single, because we released a single and we're finishing off our EP, but I've just been promoting the single nonstop to the point where I'm like, I don't ever want to hear it again. But then I'm like, but then I put it on this morning and I was like, okay, I'll give it a chance. 30 seconds and I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm like, I want to hear the other stuff.
And the fun thing is that Johan and myself, we also produce all the music videos that we do for Katapult.
Oh, wicked.
And that just adds to the whole misery because you listen to it when you recorded it, when you wrote it, when you released it, and then you shot the video where you listen to it for like 1,000 times, and then you go back to the editing room and sit there with the song, and it just gets worse.
And then you hear every little increment of everything as you're editing the video too. Just I hate this shit. I'm done with this song.
Yeah. That's the worst thing ever.
Yeah, I do. I'm gonna be starting to do all the editing of video for us. So I'm like, yeah, I'll end up being at that point here pretty soon.
Nice. But it's eventually fun. We didn't want to encourage discourage. Is that the word?
Yeah, discourage.
discourage you about that. No, it's actually a lot of fun if you have control about the whole vision from like the visuals and the sonic standpoint.
Yeah, I definitely think it's nice when the artist has complete control of their art versus a record label being like, so and so is directing your video and they've already designed it and you just have to go in and do as they say.
That would be nice, though.
It would be nice if you knew the person ahead of time and trusted their vision, kind of a thing. Like if they were like, oh, Quentin Tarantino wants to do it for you, I'd be like, I know this is going to be shot in one cut scene. You know what I mean? Like there's gonna be no cuts, like Reservoir Dogs or some shit. We're gonna do this, and it's gonna be good.
On film.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's nice to meet people that you're comfortable with their ability.
Yeah. But it's funny you mentioned the one shot thing, because that's how we how the last video that we did appears.
Is that the one for your old band is shit?
No. It's Die Brinner, the one in Swedish.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's a sweet video. I love both of them. Thanks. Actually. I showed our bass player, like my partner for Enigma, did a review for you guys. I can't remember which song it was. I think it was that one though.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's on our website. I'm waiting to release it, but he loved it. And it's funny because he's not much of a thrash guy, which is why I threw it at him. I wanted to see how he would enjoy it. And he's like, no, I loved it. So I was like, sweet, you guys want a new fan because he's not a thrash dude. So
that particular song is pretty unthrash though, but
yeah. No, and it's a nice way to ease you in, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah. Definitely.
How has COVID affected your guys' career so far?
That's really hard to say, since we started out just me and Florian, being from Sweden, he being from Switzerland. So we didn't rehearse, we didn't have a band from the start. We just threw songs at each other basically, and everything kind of stuck to the wall. Everything was great. And then COVID hit and we got a band together, and that's where we're at right now. So I think for us it's kind of a positive thing, because we get to focus for the band, that is, we get to focus our vision into the music, and then like when we go on stage, we're gonna have at least one album and 2 EPs worth of songs to play.
Right, and because you're a new band, you'll have all that time for practice eventually, and you guys will be way tighter when you first start versus bands who like have that drive 3 months into being a band, like we got to do a show, and it's like the worst performance of all time, and you're like, what? I don't want to do this anymore. You guys will have that, right? You'll be structured enough with your live performance too.
Yeah, for sure. We've been doing this for quite some time, so it's not that.
Yeah, because this is like a side project, isn't it? Like, or is this your guys' new project and you guys had older projects? Is that how things went?
Both.
Yeah.
Okay.
For some of us it's a side project, and for some of us it's one of the bands. I stopped with my old band.
Okay.
But I was in the old band and in Katapult as well, and Johan has a second band, and you have been for a long while.
Yeah, we've been going since the 90s almost.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I wrote the first riff in 99, so yeah.
That's awesome. That was like
since the 90s.
That's crazy. Hey? Yeah, it's weird to think the 90s is like, it's so long ago, but it feels like it was yesterday. Like I feel like I was 10 years old yesterday, and I'm like, damn, it's been 20 years, dude. What the fuck happened to my life?
20 years have gone by pretty damn fast.
I was just outside playing Pokemon with my neighbors.
Right?
and all our credit as a death metal band.
Dude, you just gained a whole new following. All the metalheads are like secretly play Pokemon, but they're like, I won't be accepted. And then they're like, wait a second. You know where we're going.
Yeah. Good times.
What's the music scene like where you guys are from? I've spoke with one band from Stockholm. And they not right now, just in general. And they said that Stockholm had a pretty tight knit scene. So what's it like where you guys are from?
I'm from the north of Sweden, and up here it's pretty tight knit, but it's really far between every town, and every town is pretty small, so it's a shitty place to be when you like want to do shows.
That kind of sounds like where I'm from.
And if you want to go to like Stockholm, as you said, it's pretty tightly knit down there too, so it's pretty hard to get in there. Plus, you need to drive for 8 hours to get there.
Oh wow!
So it's actually, I'm really happy to be part of a band where I'm the only dude from this far north. Like I take a plane down to Switzerland, and we have all of Europe within arm's length. That feels really awesome.
Yeah, that is a pretty cool aspect too, from being from in Europe. You know, is that you get that ability to travel. You spend a day and you can go all the way across. You know what I mean? And same with the States. It's the one downfall to Canada is it's so open still, especially the west coast of Canada. There's like two big cities, and Kelowna is considered one of them. And Kelowna's got like 250,000 people, maybe. It's like that's nothing. You know what I mean? Like
small town.
Yeah, so like if you, as a band in Canada, if you want to make it, you got to travel all the way to East Coast, or just say fuck it and go to the States and risk losing everything, or trying to do it illegally and getting arrested, because it's hard to be a musician from Canada and going to the States to tour. They have they have these weird setups, like I can't remember what it's called, like a work visa, but it's not. It's like a musician setup. But it's, I don't know, and the States and Canada aren't really the best friends right now.
Yeah, obviously.
Right.
The States and enter whatever here isn't the best of friends right
now. It's we're in a crazy time. So it's I mean, the music industry itself is in a weird state too, because we're getting that independence back, and especially right now, where labels aren't being able to put their pawns in big festivals to make them money and stuff. Us up and emerging bands are like, you know what, this is our market, because those bands have managers who are taking care of it, but we're pushing ourselves, which means we don't have an 8-hour day. You know, we have a 14-hour day of work, and it all benefits. So
definitely,
it's a cool thing to see. What's been your guys' biggest struggle so far with your career? In general,
everything.
Just your in general career. Like most bands musicians have been in tons of bands, and there's usually a reoccurring thing that happens until you find that one band that finally breaks through. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I think for the one of the most important things is to do the work, and I haven't really got that until now that I'm in my late 30s. And I wish I knew that when I was 21, because then I would probably have quit all the bands I was with, because we weren't doing the work. I think that's the main hurdle for me, at least.
Yeah, I mean, for me it was a bit different when I was 14 and started my other band, which I had until 3 years ago. It was always the goal to give like 110%, but then I struggled with finding the right people that you can trust and that pull up their own weight, because you'll find a lot of people who say, I want to be in a metal band, let's do this, and then they end up not doing anything. And so it was hard to find people, and when we had the people, at some point it wasn't as smooth. And then I got into Katapult or formed Katapult together with Johan, and everything was like, it felt so natural. That's the biggest difference. So the struggle, I'd say, is to put yourself in a place where you feel comfortable with everything.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely nice to go ahead.
Have the guts to say that people aren't pulling their weight because many, as you said, many people claim they are or think they are, but in reality they are not.
Yeah, they like the image and the title, but they don't like to do the work.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, it's definitely not I can play guitar, I'm a metal, and I'm in a metal band. No, like, being a band is a business. And I think that's the one thing I say constantly on every episode is nowadays it's not just being a rock star. There's no more being a rock star. Unless you're, unless you're at Muse's level where you can pay for $1 million performance every time. Because you're gonna get in 16, So it doesn't, for us, it's, you have to think smart, how to promote, how to market, how to gain fans genuinely. It's no more just like word of mouth, because no one really shares word of mouth anymore, which is weird. It's a weird concept.
And that's
it is
like honestly one of the reasons I felt like Katapult was worth putting time into, that I didn't feel like the only one putting my money where my mouth were, like, so to speak.
Yeah, putting in all the effort and not seeing anything come back.
And just to get that energy back from someone else is worth shitloads. It makes it so really much more fun to be part of it.
Yeah, the best thing is when, like, my band, we all take the same amount of work on, basically. So our guitar player in Europe, he's taking care of all the business and work and stuff in Europe while he's getting settled again. And then our other guitar player helps with our marketing, and as well as me and our bass player, and then our drummer's our producer. So nice. We all have that drive to get it done together, and we see it as a whole vision. So it's nice to finally have a band that I'm like, you know what, I'm willing to invest my whole life in this.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
I spent 6 years with bands with my best friends in high school, and like it was just a jam band. Now that I realize it, like if I could go back, I would have been like, yeah, yo, we need to think smarter, or I'm gonna move on by myself.
Yeah.
There's no goal. Yeah, it's all lessons, I find.
Yeah, definitely. It's a lifelong learning.
Yeah, and I don't think I look at Axl Rose. He's still learning. You know what I mean? He still has to perform, and they still have to make money to pay back their record label. At least we don't. It's like we have complete grips of our music, and even now record labels, the way they're doing things is they're not just like giving you the option for a record deal. It's like you pay for our services and we do the service for you.
I hate that.
Yeah, and even radio stations, right, or magazines, it's like, okay, you want an article, you got to pay $60.
It's so I guess like the market for bands is so saturated, so it makes sense because it
really shows who's willing to invest in their career. But at the same time, when you have like promoters looking at Facebook likes, for example, and they're like,
and I get it. I don't I don't think it's the wrong thing to do because it means something. It definitely does, but I still fucking hate it.
Yeah, me too. It's discouraging when you know that you have great music, people love it, but because you have under 10,000 fans on Facebook, no one's going to look at it. You know what I mean? So it's nice to see things changing slowly, but I wish it was quicker.
But then I mean, you have bands like do you know the Swedish band Avatar?
Yes.
So I've met them twice and talked about like the very thing that we're talking about now, and it's fun to see people that say, okay, I've been emailing people for 10 years and now it starts to pay off. So it is an effort game. It's not a game of luck.
No, not at all. It's definitely the time you put in.
Yeah, definitely.
Like we usually send out like 15 to 20 emails a day. One of us will either collectively or together, one person will just be like, hey, I'm gonna find emails and send it out. So it is definitely a grind. It's not just like it comes to you.
I did that for our first EP and we had really good feedback, high amounts of feedback, but and for the second I was kind of tired.
No, it's true.
And I used a mailing list instead, and it's literally night and day difference. There's no response almost when you compare them.
From personal emailing somebody versus just here's a mass email. Definitely. I think that's the main thing in today's market is you have to be very personalized with it. You can't just buy my shit. It doesn't work like that anymore. Back like 10 years ago, you used to be able to just like post a song on Facebook and people would like it and listen to it and it would get everywhere. But now it's like it doesn't work like that. You have to
now they like it, but they don't listen to it.
yeah, exactly. Or they just scroll past it because they're just caught in this movement of thumb going up and down, right?
That sounds like me.
I think it's everybody, and I'm totally guilty of it because I'm scrolling Facebook and I see like a music video that's sponsored from a band, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Listen to it for 10 seconds, keep scrolling. I'm like, man, I can't do that. I got to give them support. Got to go back and like watch it. And then I go and look and it's like the band's got like 400 likes. I'm like, you know what, I'm going to give them a like. They're paying for their career. They're pushing for it. So I think it's cool to see who is dedicated right now and who's not.
Definitely. Yeah, you mentioned your guitarist is in Europe.
Yeah, our guitar player is from Nottingham. He moved to Canada 3 years ago, and then he had to go back for a while. So we're just basically working online.
Yeah.
Nice. So same situation, basically.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a newer situation because he left on the 23rd of January. So it's been almost 2 months that he's been gone. So he's been in quarantine, hasn't gotten anything out of storage, and but he's amazing guitar player, and he was part of a band called Cottonmouth before, and they're talented. They're still going, an absolutely amazing band, genuine dudes. And it's been a cool experience meeting somebody from Europe who plays guitar, or the UK who plays guitar. So because totally different writing style than North Americans.
Yeah.
100%. Like you can genuinely see it in the writing of music from where you are from. It's super cool to see. When COVID stops, what do you guys think your first thing is going to be to do besides probably perform?
Yeah, I'm gonna sit my ass on a plane to Switzerland, and we're gonna have a beer, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, nice I was about to say the same thing. It's just meeting up. I mean, usually Johan and myself, we met at least twice a year because of work, I'd say.
Yeah.
Maybe once, twice. Yeah, for the last 5 years until the last. Now we haven't seen each other for 2 years. I think it's more or less exactly.
Oh wow!
Since we started working with the band more like for reals, we stopped meeting.
That's crazy.
Yes, and so I'm looking forward to get all the guys together and meet the old friend in person again.
Right? Yeah, I definitely have a beer first. That's crazy. You guys haven't seen each other in 2 years.
I haven't even met the other dudes in the band ever.
Wow, hey, that's such a weird experience. Holy. Yeah, the only member I knew in my band was our bassist, and we had been friends since kindergarten. So it was like a really weird. Nice. I went to audition for the band without even knowing he was in it.
Oh,
he walks in the room and he's like,
nice.
"How are you doing here?" And I was like, "What are you doing here?" So, we've always wanted to play in a band together, and now we got the option, and we're like, "Yeah, we're never stopping. Like, we're gonna stick like this no matter what."
Yeah,
so he's my partner for Enigma, and I'm sure you guys will meet him one day when you guys drop your album. We'll do that. If there's anything you could change in the music industry, what do you think it would be?
Oh, I mean,
it's hard.
That's since it's changing so fast, but also too slow. It's really hard to pinpoint something. But I for right now, I'd say the power balance between artists and labels, and that is changing. It is, but it's still such a weird place where digital rights are being treated as if they were physical rights back 20 years ago. And like why do we not get money from Spotify? Yeah, because it's based on old numbers from physical releases. So that kind of the power balance, whatever, give more rights and money to the artists, I suppose.
For me, it's like the base mentality. If we are talking within bands, because I met a lot of bands who are just complaining, about structures and that they don't get this and they don't get that, and it's always, or oftentimes it's a band versus band thing, and instead of you pull on the same line, so to speak, and get together. I would change that so it's like a more friendly business, because in my experience as a band, if you're not top tier, you get treated like shit very often by people who are not more successful or anything. It's just people treat other people like shit because they want to, or they're frustrated. And I would change that. I would put the love and happiness back into metal.
Right. And I think that's something that everybody's forgotten over the past I want to say 10 years, 15 years, because I mean, when I was 15, music all over the world was tight knit, especially metal and heavier bands. You had bands from all over the world being able to link up and do shows, and now it's like I find no one wants to do shows, and if they do, they don't really support. You do find the certain bands who are genuinely there to support, but then you get some act who just sits outside the whole time, doesn't even do anything until they perform. I definitely wish there was more of a unity between the metal community again, because it feels like it's falling apart, especially nowadays with like everyone hating on, oh, well, I hate metalcore, I hate deathcore, I hate
exactly. If you have a break,
so stupid.
I hate Black Sabbath. You know what I mean? I'm not a big fan of Ozzy Osbourne. Should I be smited for it? No. I don't like Slayer. I'm not going to be smited for it. No. I think there's amazing bands, but I don't think just because a band is a classic metal band, I guess I should say, like Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, I don't necessarily think that should be what music is based off today.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that.
You know what I mean? So you have those elitists
so many times,
those elitists who are like, oh, that's not metal. What classifies metal? Because if you listen to nowadays metal versus Black Sabbath sounds like a rock band. They sound like a cover band compared to fucking bands that are now. So the skill constantly changes and progresses, and the music without progression wouldn't have the bands that we look up to.
No,
so I think that there's that change definitely needs to happen. Is the that elitist mentality, and I find a lot of the time it's the band people who say that are the ones who don't play instruments. Like they're not musicians; they're just metal fans. You know what I mean? It's like, I get your perspective, but like pick up an instrument and learn it and tell us then what you think really should be heard. Because I mean, Animals as Leaders, some people will listen to it and be like, oh, that just sounds like noise. I listen to it and I'm like, this is the most mathematical, intricate thing I've ever fucking heard.
Yeah.
And it's that to me, it's like symphonies. That's like listening to Beethoven, right? So
there's a reason that like there's so much reaction videos to Meshuggah with old people that aren't into metal at all, but they like sit there in awe.
They're just like, oh my God. And it's true, because we've had to push ourselves to be noticed because it's such a flooded market, especially nowadays. Like you have those solo artists who like Pliny and stuff that are just like, they're nuts. They're just finger tapping and like all this crazy shit just to be able to write. And you're like, music has evolved so much that I think that people just have this an almost too diverse palette for it. You know, they've just got too much on their taste for music. There's just too much going on that they can't actually sit and embrace music and appreciate it for what it is, because it's not what they've been fed for so long.
But it's funny how there are bands like Meshuggah where everybody agrees that they're awesome. I don't know any person who says Meshuggah's stupid.
I mean, I've heard people stupid. I've heard people who are like, it's not my style, but they're still like, damn, it's fucking good.
Yeah,
exactly.
No, for sure. Is there anything you guys want to say to the viewers before we wrap up?
Hello. Nah, it's hard to say something like that when you're just throwing it at us like that.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I can go for it. I mean, everybody's in quarantine or in the COVID affected situations right now. And if you're listening to this podcast, maybe you have a good time and enjoy being with other metalheads or talking about music. And maybe it's a good time to remember that music gives us so much joy, and it's so cool to be in a band or just listen to it and enjoy it. And sometime the whole craziness of this situation will be over, and let's keep doing that, listening to music and enjoy each other's art.
Yeah, I think that's a cool thing. And press play.
Exactly. Legit. Yes. Well played. Is that why you guys named it that? Is that why the album name came? I just like, you know what? The world needs to shut the fuck up and press play.
Yeah, basically, yes. I mean, that's like the whole idea.
Yeah, that's awesome. It makes a hell of a statement.
we try to be more direct with I think both lyrics and titles, and this one feels like it's it's a great message. It's also we had this vision for contacting label people, and they have something on their desk, and it's not like, oh, we're Katapult from Sweden and Switzerland. It's just like shut the fuck up and press play. yeah, exactly.
Well played. I love it, guys. Let's definitely link up when you guys get your full length done, and we'll do another interview. And you guys stay safe, and hopefully COVID lockdown stops soon, that you guys can enjoy a beer together. 2 years is too long to be away from a band member, man. I feel for you. I'm like, oh, that's like a best. It's like a family member, you know. When you haven't seen a brother for like 2 years, you meet up and you just want to punch each other in the arm as hard as you can because you missed them.
Yeah, exactly like that. Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming on, guys. I'll talk to you again soon.
Yeah,
sure. Bye.
Bye.